So golf started for me at a really young age, probably 18 months. My grandparents lived in Zululand at the time, and my folks were in Durban, and they couldn't afford a nanny for me, so I spent weeks with my grandparents, and they would come through on the weekends. And they played golf at a Matakulu golf club, and it would take me literally the entire morning to set up like 50 plastic golf balls. And when they got back from golf, I would whack them in 5 minutes. So that's where it initially started. When it got serious for me was probably just mid-13, just before my 14th birthday. I said to my folks that I want to be a pro golfer. Watched Ernie's VHS about how to grip the club properly with an interlock grip or an overlap grip. He was showing, like, he did an instructional video, which I thought was pretty cool. I watched it maybe 5 years ago and I didn't think it was so cool anymore, but at the time it was pretty cool. Then I spoke to my principal. She at the time was a golfer at a club in Benoni, and I told her that I don't want to partake in any more school sports because they didn't offer golf as a sport back then. So I was allowed to have Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays half days, and I never had to attend any of the matric rugby games and things like that because, you know, golf took preference. So I was the apple of my principal's eye, as it were. And we played golf every Wednesday, meet comp together, and that was quite cool and weird. But golf bit really hard, and made Springbok colours 4 times I think that year as a junior. And then just rolled with it from there. Won a whole bunch of junior tournaments in the next 2 to 3 years in my life, and just turned pro at a really young age. The initial breakthrough I think came in 2008. I was lying in my hotel room the morning of the pre-qualification in Swaziland, and I got a phone call. Wow, it's really cool. I got a phone call from Donay, the secretary at the time, and she called me and she said, "Merrick, you just got into the event, you don't have to qualify today." And I was like, oh wow, it's so amazing, first time ever. And then went out 2 days later, shot 65 in the first round. And at the time it wasn't anything new because I used to shoot those scores in the pre-queue, right? So like that was my pre-queue round, and then normally my first round of the tournament would be like level par, 1 under. So I kind of didn't know where I was, and then the next day I shot 66. And I was like, oh cool, that's nice. Now I'm 13. No, I shot 5 under, sorry, 67, I was 12. And then I got paired with Jean Hugo and Bradford Vaughan in the final round. And I made 66 the last day to win by 6, I think. So yeah, that was really cool. And then just the relief of not having to pre-qualify anymore and having a winners category, it was really cool. And then I haven't really battled to keep a card since then. I've been winning sporadically throughout my career. I should have won a lot more than I have, I think, but I was a little bit of an abuser, and we can put it like that, with the high life of cigarettes and drinking and staying out late and gambling and all that nonsense, which now I've turned over a new leaf, don't do all that stuff anymore. Yeah, I think just having a wife and a son and a family, you kind of realize what's important to you in life, and golf is obviously one of those things, but there's more to life than going out and getting drunk and having a good time. And so for me now it's just family, golf, and have as much fun as we can doing it. So we're at my home club, Silver Lakes Golf and Wildlife Estate today, currently on the range. Beautiful, beautiful golf course in just east of Pretoria. Championship 18-hole layout, really difficult off the yellow tees. Got a great driving range, short game areas, putting greens, chipping greens, amazing facilities all around. I mean, there's a great restaurant here, Cafe 41, lovely bar area that's just recently reopened. It's just an unbelievable place. The vibe is spectacular, and as you can see, like the water and the serenity of it's beautiful. Just a really, really, really amazing place to come and play and practice. I think it's really important to have a place like this that we can call home as a touring pro. We don't get that many weeks at home. So when we do, it's amazing to come to a place like this where it's so quiet and the people are friendly. I mean, we've got a whole bunch of guys here that play out on tour with us. George Coetzee, the golf director here, Brendan van Nieuwenhuizen, he's unbelievable. Ruan Korp, who won last week. Wynand Dingle, there's a bunch of really good guys. Tristan Lawrence. There's a bunch of us that just play money games all the time and in our off weeks, and we get to test ourselves around one of the best tracks in Pretoria. Generally, I come to the range just for a short warm-up before going out to play. And if I'm doing a practice session, do a nice loosener with a couple of wedges early on, and then kind of stick to one club and work on some drills or whatever my coach and I are working on. But yeah, for now it's just a loosen up, couple of wedge shots, short ones to start off with. Range work and warm-ups has always been about quality rather than quantity, so I'm not one to come and kill myself on the range hitting 500 golf balls a day. I've tried that once, it didn't fare too well, my hands didn't enjoy it. So yeah, I tend to put more work in on the golf course itself. So one of the places where I do spend a lot of time is the chipping greens, putting greens. I think short game is really important for any level of golfer, not only myself, but that's where you score and that's where you make money. So the bulk of my time is spent around the chipping and putting green. Yeah, so generally when we have off time, maybe once a week, and I like to come out quite often. I'll bring my son, he's 5 at the end of this month. He's also starting to enjoy his golf quite a bit, so we come out maybe 3-4 times a week and play 9 holes around 3-4 o'clock when it's nice and quiet. Yeah, it's an honor for me to be able to play the sport that I love with my son and watch how much joy it brings him as well without it being forced upon him. With Cobra Puma for nearly 2 years, it's been an incredible journey thus far. Nick and Johan do an incredible job with supplying us with the best and latest clothing and clubs, equipment. Johan and I just recently built a new set of the F9 Forge combo set, so CBs in 3, 4, 5 and then 6 to wedge in the blades, but in black. Got the KBS dollar taper shaft 130Xs in there. Wedges are Vokey, 50, 55, 60, play the F9 woods. Still in love with the sound and the feel of those heads. But yeah, I mean, I generally like to be quite aware of what my equipment is and where it is, like with lofts and lies and spec. So just recently purchased a loft and lie machine, so I don't have to drive into the office every week to double check my numbers. I can just do it at home. It just gives me peace of mind knowing that my equipment's 100% every week when I go out on tour. Obviously with all the traveling and now being able to fly again, they don't really care for your golf clubs too much, the airlines, so they chuck them around and they tend to bounce back or get bent ever so slightly. And for us, 1 degree can mean 10 meters either side, forwards, backwards, left and right, so it's quite important for the clubs to be spot on. Okay, so the 18th hole at Silver Lake's a really nice par 5, quite a tricky tee shot, but if you can get a good one away, you're left with quite a nice approach to the green. I've hit a really nice one here and I've left myself with a nice smooth wedge. Yeah, I mean, the point of this hole is it's kind of a lot of risk and reward. If you hit a good tee shot, it gives yourself a nice second into the green, really well protected by water and bunkers. Left, right, short, no good. Middle of the green is generally your best bet. But with the pitching wedge, I'm looking to take it on and try to get within 10 feet of the flag. I'm Merrick Bremner and thank you for joining me at my home course.